Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we were in the 9th Brahmanam of the 3rd chapter, which is the last Brahmanam. The 3rd chapter itself, if you see, it is all about different rishis or brahmanas, great scholars, panditas, questioning Yajnavalkya on different aspects. The first 3 brahmanas were related to Upasana only, and also to know the limitations of the Hiranyagarbha itself, which is the highest one can reach by doing jnana, by doing Upasana and Karma. Then 4th Brahmana up to 8th Brahmana, the 5 Brahmanas were about Brahman. It started with Yes Sakshad Aparokshad Brahma, like that. That is a very, very popular Vakya, quoted by Bhashyakara also in many places. Then this 9th Brahmana is again about Hiranyagarbha only. Hiranyagarbha means the totality, the samashti, and how the one Hiranyagarbha is manifest as many different devatas or many different manifestations of the Hiranyagarbha is talked about here, again for Upasana purposes only. So the 9th Brahmana, the last Brahmana here, is more related to Hiranyagarbha Mahima, you can say, or the different manifestations of Hiranyagarbha. In this, we already saw that the first 9 Vakyas were talking about how this one prana is another name which is given here for the same Hiranyagarbha, and Brahma is another name, if you see here, and Tyat also is a name. So Sab Brahma Tyaditi Achakshate. So this pranaha is the one devata, Ekaha Devaha. This one prana or Hiranyagarbha, who is also known as Brahma and Tyat. Tyat is because Hiranyagarbha is not Pratyaksha, Hiranyagarbha is Paroksha. Hiranyagarbha can be known only indirectly. Directly we cannot perceive Hiranyagarbha. So Hiranyagarbha is called Tyat. So this one Hiranyagarbha only appears as 1.5 devata, which is Vayu, and then 2 devatas, 3 devatas, 6 devatas, like this we saw, correct? There are different numbers, starting from 3306, which is mentioned in a Rigvedic mantra called Nivit. So there is a group of Rigvedic mantras called Vaishvedeva Shastram. In that Vaishvedeva Shastram only, the Nivit mentions the number of devatas as 3306, which is like a Madhyama Parinama, like that Bhashyakara says, in intermediate number, because really the number of devatas are like we say 33 crores and all that, correct? Huge, like countless devatas are there, but all of them are, you can contract them to only Prana Devata or Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is the samashti, is the total. Or you can count them separately, means it is countless. So you can either expand or reduce it like a zip file. So one zip file is there. If you extract it, then you get so many files, correct? Even in computers. So I think of it something like that. So Hiranyagarbha is the one zip file. And this was already presented. Then the same Hiranyagarbha for Upasana purposes is presented as 8 different purushas. Okay, so 8 different manifestations of Hiranyagarbha. And when we have any Upasana, normally the Upasana is done based on some qualities, correct? Some Visheshanas. So here, each Purusha has some Visheshanas. Okay, in fact, for each Purusha, one ayatanam is specified. What is the ayatana of that purusha? Ayatanam means abode or body, you can say, wherever that purusha is there. Okay, ayatanam. Then loka. Loka means the organ of perception here, like organ of seeing. And then jyotihi is the organ of thinking or organ of being aware, awareness. So like this, three things. First, ayatanam, loka, jyotihi. Loka, jyotihi, you can even consider it together because it is related to an organ of perception and the awareness which is backing it up. And then also one more thing is talked about each devata, which is the devata itself. What is the devata of that purusha? Now the devata here, like even the loka and jyoti and ayatana, it's all it's a jargon, it's a terminology. So here devata means, Bhashyakara already said, yasman nishpadyate, from which this purusha has come. The source of this purusha or the origin of this purusha is called devata here. So this whole portion is actually very obscure in the sense that without Bhashyakara's commentary, we cannot understand much here. Nothing is straightforward. Most of the meaning is somewhat codified, you can say, or very technical. In fact, the first purusha we already saw in the last class. The first purusha is the purusha who is there in this physical body itself. In fact, even in that, Bhashyakara says that this parthiva sharira, in that the matrija koshatraya rupaha purushaha we are talking about here, means from the mata, from the mother, three things are coming in this body. From father, three other things are coming in the body. Now the three things which are coming from the mother, if you see here, it is Bhashyakara himself gives that. Okay. So, so in this, if you see, Twang Mamsa Rudira is Matrija. Matrijena Twang Mamsa Rudira Rupena, he says. So the skin, flesh, and blood are from mother. And mother is like the field, Kshetrasthaniya, Bhashyakara says. Then the Bijasthaniya means the seed. Like if you are cultivating crops, you need both the field and the seeds. And Bijasthaniya is from the Pita, from the father. And from that comes Asti, Majja, Shukra. So the bones, the bone marrow, and the and Shukra is basically this Bija again, sperm. So these things are all coming from father. So like this three, in this, the first purusha. So Prithivi eva yasya ayatanam, like this it started, whose abode is the earth. That is nothing but this body only. And even in this body, whatever has come from the mother, the Matrija Koshatraya, it is called. The Pitrija Kosha, Matrija Kosha, like that they are talking about two different koshas here. And for that Purusha, whose abode is this, is the skin, flesh, and the blood. Okay. Then the Agni is the Loka, and Manas itself is the Jyoti. And then the Devata for this, what is the Devata? Amritamiti. Actually, Yajnavalkya says the source of this physical body is Amritam. But this cannot be the Amrita which we normally hear about in the Puranas, correct? For which the Devas and Asuras fought. So Bhashyakara here gives the meaning for Amrita as Bhuktasya Annasya Rasaha. So basically it is the nourishment from the food, the essence of the food. And that alone basically becomes your body, correct? So your flesh, blood, etc. are created from the food only. Therefore, that is the Devata. Devata here means the origin or source. So this is the first Purusha we saw. For the first Purusha, one portion of the physical body is the ayatana, and the Agni is the loka, mind is the jyoti, and Anna Rasa itself is the devata. Now next is what? Kama eva yasya ayatanam hridayam lokaha mano jyotihi yovaitam purusham vidyat sarvasya atmanaha parayanam savai vedita syat. Yajnavalkya vedava aham tam purusham sarvasya atmanaha parayanam yam atha ya eva ayam kamamayaha purushaha sayesha vadaiva shakalya tasya ka devateti striya iti hovacha. So again, in fact, if you see the 8 vakyas here, it's all similar. Okay, that's why samanam anyat, like this Bhashyakara has said already. Once he has explained all this in detail, rest of the things we have to understand similarly. So here next is what? For whom kama is the abode or the body. The for the purusha, for whom the kama, or here kama is actually stri vetika kara abhilashaha, like this Bhashyakara says. That means it is basically lust. The sexual desire is the kama which is talked about here. So the purusha for whom this kama itself is the body, and then hridaya means buddhi only. The intellect is called hridaya here. That is the loka, or the organ of perception. Mind itself is the jyoti, the organ of thinking. And that purusha, who is that purusha? Means our Yajnavalkya says kamamayaha purushaha. So this purusha itself is the kamamaya purusha. So this kamamayaha purushaha. So and who is the devata for this purusha? Stri. So the women or females are the source, because the desire has to come from there, correct? They are the ones who stoke the desire, so to speak. So that is the source or the devata for this kamamaya purusha. Bhashya also is very simple. Kama eva yasya ayatanam. So for whom the kama itself is the abode or body. And here kama is stri vetikara abhilashaha, means the desire born towards the opposite sex. And that is the kama. And kama shariraha ityarthaha, one whose body itself is this kama. And hridayam lokaha, hridayana buddhya pashyati. And this kamamaya purusha sees through the buddhi itself. Buddhi is the organ of perception. And this type of purusha, who is this purusha? He is kamamaya. He is all made up of only desires. And in fact, Bhashyakara adds a note here, adhyatmamapi kamamaya eva. So with reference to this body also, it is the same thing. The kamamaya purusha is like that only. And who is the devata means, who is the source for this kamamaya purusha means striyaha iti hovacha. Why? Because stritaha hi kamasya deeptihi jayate. So from the women only this lust is like, it is like a flame. Okay, it flames basically by looking at women. That's what is said here. So that becomes the devata. So this is a form of, again, even this kama is a manifestation of Hiranyagarbha. That's what we have to understand. In fact, this parallel is there in Bhagavad Gita also. Bhagavan there says that dharma aviruddha kamosmi bharatarshava. I am the kama in you, correct? So don't think that desire and lust and all is something sinful or it is bad and all that. In fact, it is how we are made, correct? There is nothing wrong in all that. As long as you are pursuing everything within the norms of dharma, correct? Within dharma, in fact, it is proper. It is as it should be. In fact, it is also something, it's a privilege given to us, correct? Everything is a privilege, everything is a power which is given to us. The power to desire, Icha Shakti is a Shakti. It is a privilege given to us, nothing wrong with that. As long as it is in keeping with dharma. That's why even there is a Upasana like this, correct? So you look upon the kama also as manifestation of Hiranyagarbha only. That is our culture, in fact. So this is one purusha, one manifestation of Hiranyagarbha is this kama or kamamaya purusha, in fact. Then next one is what? Rupani eva yasya ayatanam chakshur lokaha mano jyotihi yovaitam purusham vidyat sarvasya atmanaha parayanam savai vedita syat yajnavalkya vedavaham tam purusham sarvasya atmanaha parayanam yamatha ya eva asau aditye purushaha sa yesha vadaiva sakalya tasya ka devateti satyamiti hovacha. See, again here all these terms are all very obscure. Only Bhashyakara gives certain meanings and we have to go with that. So in this next one is the purusha for whom rupani, the colors themselves, are the abode, are the body. So Bhashyakara rupani means he says Shukla Krishna Dini, like white and black, etc. And for this purusha, the eyes themselves are the organs of perception. Mind again is the organ for thinking, etc. Mano Jyotihi. So the one who knows this purusha only really is a pandita, like this he says, correct? And Yajnavalkya says, I know that purusha. Okay, who is again the sarvasya atmanaha parayanam, means one who is the abode or one who is the final abode of all the body, mind, sense complexes. And that in this case, what? That purusha is Aditya purusha, the purusha who is there in the Aditya, in the sun. And again, Yajnavalkya says, Sayesha Vadaiva Shakalya, means what? There is something more about this purusha. If you ask, I will tell you. Like that. He now says, hey, Shakalya, ask me further, I will tell you. And then Shakalya again asks, Tasya ka devateti. So what is the source of this purusha? Means Satyam. Let us see the Bhashya. Now, what is the meaning of this Satyam? It's very interesting. We'll see that. See, Rupani eva yasya ayatanam. So once abode our body is colors, and Rupani means Shukla Krishna Dini, black, white, etc. Eva asau Aditya purusha. And this purusha who has this Chakshu, who has the Loka, and Mano as the Jyotihi, who is this purusha? The one who is there in Aditya purusha. So Sarvesham hi Rupanam Vishishtam Karyam Aditya purusha. So Bhashyakara also says, for all the colors, correct? The special effects are there only in the Aditya, because the Aditya's rays only, even we understand that the sunlight only, if you split it, it becomes different colors and all that. So this rupas, for all the colors, they all come from that sun, we can take. And that purusha, what is the source of that purusha? Tasya ka devateti, means satyam iti hovacha. Now, what is the meaning of satyam? Satyam means normally it is reality and all that, correct? But here Bhashyakara gives the meaning satyam iti chakshuhu uchyate. Why? Because even in the Purusha Sukta it is there. Chaksho suryo ajayata mukhadindrascha agnischa pranad vayurajayata, like that, correct? So Chakshoho suryaha ajayata, the Surya, the Aditya Purusha has come from the Chakshuhu only. Of course, of this great Purusha. So here Satyam actually means Chakshuhu is what Bhashyakara is giving the meaning, and he gives a explanation also. Chakshushaha hi adhyatmataha adityasya adidhaivatasya nishpattihi. So the Aditya, who is the Adidevata for the eyes also. Okay. So even with reference to the body, if you take the eyes, the Devata for the eyes is the Aditya. That's why even if you have some problem with reference to your eyes, then we say you pray to the Aditya Devata, you do Surya Namaskara, we say that you chant Aditya Hridayam and all that. So that Aditya, who is the Adidevata, his origin is from the eyes. That he is saying, keeping in mind the Rigveda only, the Purusha Sukta basically, like I told, correct? Chaksho Suryo Ajayata is there. So Chakshus is the origin or source of this Aditya Purusha. Then Akasha eva yasya ayatanam Shrotram lokaha manojyotihi yo vaitam purusham vidyat sarvasya atmanaha parayanam savai vedita syat. Yajnavalkya vedava aham tam purusham sarvasya atmanaha parayanam yamatha ya eva ayam shrautraha pratishrutkaha purushaha. Sayesha vadaiva shakalya tasya ka devateti disha iti hovacha. So next is the one whose abode or body is the very space or akasha, and whose organ of perception is the ear shrotram, and manas is the jyotihi. And such a purusha, who is that purusha means shrautraha purushaha, he says, the purusha who obtains when the hearing happens. Pratishrutkaha also it is said here. Pratishrutkaha means at the time of hearing. At the time of hearing, whoever is there facilitating that hearing, that purusha, shrautraha purushaha. And what is the source of this purusha means the the different quarters or directions, the 8 directions normally we talk about, correct? So normally the sound is associated with akasha, and akasha itself is looked upon as different directions, correct? The 8 directions are looked upon as the manifestation of akasha. So that's what we see here. So akasha eva yasya ayatanam. So one whose abode is akasha. Eva ayam shrotre bhavaha shrautraha. And also the one who is there in the ear, that is the shrautraha. And tatrapi pratishravana velayam visheshataha bhavati iti pratishrutkaha. So Bhashyakara gives the meaning of this pratishrutkaha. Shrautraha means, he said, shrotre bhavaha, the one who is in the ear. But even there specifically, one who is there when hearing takes place. Okay, pratishravana velayam, when the hearing is happening, at that time whoever is there, visheshata, especially who is there, that purusha is called pratishrutkaha shrautraha purushaha. Tasya ka devateti. What is the source of this purusha? Disha iti hovacha. Digbyaha hi asau adhyatmikaha nishpadyate. So even with reference to the body, the Dik devatas are supposed to be the Adi devatas for ears. So Dik is the source of this Shrautraha Purushaha. Then next is what? Tamas. Darkness also is taken up next. Is the abode of which Purusha? Tamayeva yasya ayatanam hridayam lokaha mano jyotihi yo vaitam purusham vidyat sarvasya atmanaha parayanam savai vedita syat. Yajnavalkya vedava aham tam purusham sarvasya atmanaha parayanam yamatha eva ayam chayamayaha purushaha. So the person who is in shadow, okay, chayamayaha purushaha. Sayesha vadaiva shakalya tasya ka devateti mrityuhi iti ovacha. And mrityu is the source or devata for this chayamayaha purushaha. Let us see what Bhashyakara says. Tama eva yasya ayatanam. Darkness or tamas is the abode or body. And what is this tamas also Bhashyakara explains. Tama iti Sharvaradi andhakaraha parigrihyate. Sharvaradi andhakaraha means the darkness at night. Okay, that is understood here as tamas. Adhyatmam chayamayaha ajnanamayaha purushaha. And with reference to the body, this purusha is ajnanamayaha. Chayamayaha is really ajnanamayaha, he says. Chaya or shadow here represents the ajnana. So this individual itself is basically born out of ajnana only, ignorance, correct? So ajnanamayaha chayamayaha purushaha. And what is the source of this ajnanamayaha purushaha? Tasya ka devateti mrityuhu iti hovacha. Mrityu is the source of this ajnanamayaha, and mrityuhu is what? Mrityuhu adhidaivatam tasya nishpatti karanam. Mrityu devata itself is the source of this ajnana, and with reference to the body, this body also adhidaivatam, with reference to this body, and this devata is there. Mrityu Devata. And that Mrityu Devata is the source of this Ajnana. Then next is what? Rupani eva yasya ayatanam. Again, this Rupani is repeating. We saw Rupani here also in 12. So Bhashyakara here will give a different meaning for this Rupani. So Rupani eva yasya ayatanam chakshur lokaha mano jyotihi yovai tam purusham vidyat sarvasya atmanaha parayanam savai vedita syat Yajnavalkyasya only it should be there, I think here. This must be a mistake. Yajnavalkya vedavaham tam purusham sarvasya atmanaha parayanam yamatha eva ayam adarshe purushaha. So who is the purusha here now? Adarshe purusha, the purusha who appears in the mirror, reflection purusha. This is Sayesha vadaiva shakalya tasya ka devateti asuhu iti hovacha. Asu means prana. Prana is called asu or breath, correct? So Rupani eva yasya ayatanam. So the one whose body or abode is again colors. But here Bhashyakara gives a different meaning. Purvam sadharanani rupani uttani. So previously it was normal colors, it seems. And now what? Ihatu prakashakani vishishtani rupani grihyante. So here when rupani is talked about, it is all bright colors. In fact, if you go to buy cars in India, I don't know, it may be in other countries also. So we have this white and all is called normal colors. Then you have metallic colors, correct, which are all like reflecting and bright, like silver and even some other colors are there, like beige, golden beige color. So there are metallic colors in paint, and then there are regular paint colors also. Something like that we have to take, I think. So previously normal colors were talked about. Here bright prakashakani are reflecting colors we have to take. So prakashakani vishishtani rupani grihyante. So here we understand it as bright colors. And rupa ayatanasya devasya vishesha ayatanam pratibimba adharam adarshadi. So the one this deva who has the rupa itself as ayatana, for this deva there is a special ayatana, special abode. What is that? That which is the adhara or the basis for the reflection, like the adarsha, etc. Adarshadi. Adarshadi means any reflecting surface we have to take, mirror, etc. And what is the tasya ka devateti? What is the source means? Asuhu iti hovacha. Tasya pratibimbakyasya purushasya nishpatihi asoho prana. In fact, this what is the connection between prana and the reflection means? If you see, if you read Anandagiri gives the roundabout connection here. So he says, if you want to make a reflecting surface, you require to polish it, correct? And how do you polish? Polishing means you need some kind of friction, correct? You have to polish it and make something shining, then only it becomes reflecting. So that friction requires force, and force will come only with prana. So like that, some connection is given here. So anyway, the prana is the source of this reflection purusha. Okay, pratibimba purusha or adarshe purushaha. Like this it is said here. And next purusha is apa eva yasya ayatanam, for whom water itself is the body. Hridayam lokaha, again buddhi is the organ of perception. Mano jyotihi yovaitam purusham vidyat sarvasya atmanaha parayanam savai vedita syat. Yajnavalkya vedavaham tam purusham sarvasya atmanaha parayanam yamatha eva ayam apsu purushaha. So the purusha who is there in the waters. Sayesha vadaiva shakalya tasya ka devateti varuna iti hovacha. And the source of this purusha, this apsu purusha is Varuna devata. Varuna is the source. So apa eva yasya ayatanam, water is the abode of whom, and sadharanaha sarvaha apaha ayatanam. So here all the normal waters, whatever water is found in your well, in a pond, in a reservoir, etc. In fact, he says that vapi kupa tadagadi ashrayasu apsu vishesha avasthanam. So the water which is found in Vapi means well, and Kupa is a pond, Tadaga, etc. Tadaga means a bigger one, a lake or a reservoir. Ashrayas. So those which are found, the water found in all these places. So that is where they are there specially. So all these waters, the one whose abode is these waters, and for whom again Hridayam is the Loka, Mano Jyotihi, and that Purusha is Apsu Purushaha. And what is the source? Tasya ka devateti Varunaha iti. Varunat Sanghata Kartriyaha. Adhyatmam Apa eva Vapyadi Apam Nishpatti Karanam. So this Varuna is the Sanghata Kartriyaha, it is said here. Okay, the one who makes up this Sanghata, this compound, this body mind sense complex itself is a Sanghata, correct? It is something put together. So this Varuna is the one who makes all these things come together. Okay, because whatever water you drink, which actually, see, Varuna is normally understood as the Devata of rains, and basically the rainwater only comes into the ponds, etc., and then that water only we drink, and through that only the Sanghata is sustained, correct? Sanghata Kartriyaha, that's why it is called like that. And Adhyatmam Apa eva Vapyadi Apam Nishpatti Karanam. And this Varuna, who is the reason for the water in the body also, the same Varuna is also the source for all the waters which are there in the different places, like well, pond, etc., reservoir, etc. Varuna is the source. Like this, Varuna Devata is the Devata for the Apsu Purushaha. Then finally, one more, Reta eva yasya ayatanam. So Retas again is sperm or bija. So one whose abode is that, Hridayam Lokaha Mano Jyotihi, here also, Yovaitam Purusham Vidyat Sarvasya Atmanaha Parayanam Savai Vedita Syat, Yajnavalkya Vedavaham Tam Purusham Sarvasya Atmanaha Parayanam Yamatha Eva Ayam Putramayaha Purushaha. So here the Putramaya, the Purusha is Putramayaha Purushaha. Okay, one who is identified with the sun, the being or the Purusha who is identified, who is in the form of sun, and who is the source of this? Tasya ka devateti Prajapatihi. Again, Prajapati here is not the Devata. Prajapati means Pita. That's what Bhashyakara gives the meaning. The father is the source of the sun. Like that it is said here. So, in fact, the Shukra is Pitrija. Already it was said before, Matrija Koshatraya, Pitrija Koshatraya. The Retas is Pitrija Koshatraya. So that's why the first Prithvi eva yasya ayatanam was there. In that, Bhashyakara said the Matrija Koshatraya only. Retas is coming here, and this is from the father. So Reta eva yasya ayatanam, eva ayam putramayaha vishesha ayatanam. Reta ayatanasya putramayaha iti cha asti majja shukrani piturjatani. So this putramayaha, one who is in the form of putra, the special ayatana is the retas, but in general what? All three are to be considered. When you say putramayaha, it is asti majja shukrani piturjatani. So it is the pitrija koshatraya is talked about here by saying retas and putramayaha purushaha. And what is the source again? Tasya ka devateti Prajapatihi iti uhovacha, and Prajapatihi pita uchyate. So Prajapati here means pita actually. Pitritaha hi putrasya utpattihi. From the father only son is born. So here Prajapati is actually pita. So like this now we had 8 manifestations of Hiranyagarbha, and for each of these Hiranyagarbha Purushas, we saw that there is an Ayatanam, there is a Loka, there is a Jyotihi, and a Devata. So in this manner, these things were discussed, and this is supposed to be done as an Upasana. So these are all Vaidika Upasanas. In fact, nowadays, I don't know whether anybody does all these Vaidika Upasanas properly. In fact, even in the Taittiriya Upanishad and Chandogya Upanishad, a lot of Upasanas are mentioned. Nowadays, all our sadhana, if you take, even the japa and the different types of any Upasana or Dhyana also, it is all Pauranika. It is all based on Purana or Tantrika also. Tantra based or Purana based. Vaidika Upasanas, only thing is the Gayatri mantra, I think. The Gayatri Sandhyopasana is still Vaidika. That we all do. But otherwise, everything has become Pauranika. I don't know whether anybody does all this Upasanas properly or seriously anymore. But this Upasana, if you are doing it, this Upasana again is supposed to give you this view of Hiranyagarbha as everything. That is the idea of the Upasana here also. To appreciate the manifestation of Hiranyagarbha, to appreciate all these 8 things as manifestation of Hiranyagarbha. If you appreciate that, then again you are seeing the totality as one. The Samashti Rupa you are able to appreciate. That will help you for this Brahmajnanam also. That is the idea here. So these 8 forms or 8 manifestations or 8 purushas associated with Hiranyagarbha we have seen. Now after this an interesting Vakya comes. Shakalyeti hovacha Yajnavalkya. So now Yajnavalkya, so Shakalya is silent. Then Yajnavalkya calls him, hey Shakalya. Then he says, Twam Svid ime Brahmanaha Angara Avakshayanam Akrata iti. That is Pluta, Akrata, like that you have to, this 3 is there, correct? 3 matras. So Pluta is sometimes used to, in some context, okay, here to draw the attention or even to make fun of Shakalya, because here actually Yajnavalkya is making fun of Shakalya. He says, Twam Svid ime Brahmana, these Brahmanas, okay, Twam Akrata, they have made you into what? He says, Angara Avakshayanam. Angara Avakshayanam means the tool which is used to pick charcoal, burning charcoal. See, Angara means charcoal or burning charcoal, hot charcoal. And normally the tongs are there, correct? A pair of tongs you use to pick up the coal. So what Yajnavalkya is saying is, these Brahmanas have made you into the tongs which pick up the hot coal. That means he is comparing himself as the hot coal. Yajnavalkya says, I am like the hot coal. None of these Brahmanas can handle me directly. Therefore, what they have done, they have made you into the tongue and they have pushed you in front of them and they have made you ask me questions. Even though they know that you will lose. Correct? I will burn you. Here, I will burn you means what? Yajnavalkya is indirectly saying, I will burn you means I am going to defeat you. You will be defeated by me. But these Brahmanas do not have they do not have confidence to come themselves and handle me. I am like the fire. Therefore, they have put you in front. So like this he says. But of course, Shakalya will not accept this. So that's what is said in this 18th Vakya. In fact, Bhashyakara now gives a summary. He says, Ashtada Deva Loka Purusha Bhedena Trida Atmanam Pravibhajya Avastitaha Ekaikaha Devaha Prana Bedaha Eva Upasanartham Yapadishtaha. So Bhashyakara says, Upasanartham Yapadishtaha. So these 8, whatever the last 8 Vakyas, they have been taught for the purpose of doing Upasana. The Hiranyagarbha or Prana Devata has to be visualized in these 8 Purushas. Prana Beda. So they are all these 8 Purushas are all differentiation in the Prana Devata only, or Hiranyagarbha only. They are all manifestations of Hiranyagarbha. And each of the Purushas, how were they described? They were described with a Deva loka and a purusha. Okay, so like this, so there is a we saw that, correct? Different purushas were there. Aditya purusha, Adarshe purusha, etc. like that. And each of them had a devata, and they had a different loka also, and an ayatana, etc. So like this, 8 forms, and each form had 3 divisions in the form of deva, loka and purusha. Like this, each of that devatas, atmanam pravibhajya, dividing them, and it was explained to us. So all this, dividing this Hiranyagarbha into 8 purushas, and again dividing each purusha into 3 different things, it is all only for upasana artha. That's what Bhashyakara says. So this one kind of upasana has been now completed, or the instructions for that has been given. Now what? Adhuna digvibhagena panchadha pravibhaktasya atmani upasamharartham aha. So now again the same Hiranyagarbha will be looked upon with reference to the directions in 5 different ways. Means 4 directions, and up and down are taken as one, I think. So vertical direction is one. Then other than that, 4 other directions are there. So these 5 directions, again based on that, the same Hiranyagarbha, Prana Devata will be looked upon differently. For what? Atmani upasamharartham. Here Atmani means Hridaye. Hridaya only is called Atma here. Atma Shabdaha Hridaya Vishayaha. Our Anandagiri also says that. So here Atmani means it's not Pratyagatma, it is basically to understand that everything, they all come and unite in your mind only. In the Antakarana, whatever divisions you make, they will all finally end in the mind. So to show that, in fact, in each of those only you will see that. When we see the details, you will understand this, how this Atmani Upasamharartham, what Bhashyakara says. So they all resolve in the mind finally, to show that only this, now this is going to be started. Okay, having given this introduction, now he gives the meaning for this. So Tushnim Bhutam Shakalyam Yajnavalkyaha Grehena Iva Aveshayan Naha. So who was Shakalya was silent, it seems. Then Yajnavalkya talked to him as though casting a spell on him. Okay. Grahena Iva Aveshayan means that's what, like casting a spell on him. Then he talked to him. What did he say? Shakalyeti Hovacha. Shakalya, like that he called him, Yajnavalkyaha. Swam Sviditi Vitarke. Vitarke means, see this Swid, the word is there, correct? Why is this Swid word is there? To show that the Brahmanas have intentionally, deliberately made you like this. Okay, they have made you, they have put you in front deliberately. That is the meaning. Swid iti vitarke. Swid has come in the meaning of deliberate or intentional. So Tvam is you. So ime nunam brahmanaha. So these brahmanas, what did they do? Angara avakshayanam means what? Angaraha avakshiyante yasmin. So in which this burning charcoal, angaraha is burning charcoal, they are kept, correct? In the tongs only they are placed. So that is Sandamshadaha. Sandamshadaha means basically the tongs, a pair of tongs. Sandamshadav, it is in the dual case. So a pair of tongs only is meant as Angara Avakshayanam. Tat Angara Avakshayanam, that is the Angara Avakshayanam. Tat Nunam Tvam Akrataha Kritavantaha Brahmanaha. So these Brahmanas have made you into the pair of tongs to handle the burning coal. So what is the meaning of that? And also further, in fact, Bhashyakara says, Tontu Tanna Buddhyase, but you do not know that. They are deliberately playing with you, but you did not seem to have understood that, and you are now coming and questioning me and all that. That is the idea here. So Tantu Tanna Buddhya Tvantu Tanna Buddhyase Atmanam Maya Dahyamanam iti Abhiprayaha. So you are the one who is going to be burnt by me. Means you will be defeated by me. But without knowing this, you have come and you have started questioning me. Like this, Yajnavalkya is now kindling our Shakalya. Then what does Shakalya says? Yajnavalkyeti hovacha Shakalyaha yedidam kuru panchalanam brahmanan atyavadihi kim brahma vidvaniti dishaha veda sadevaha sapratishta iti yad dishaha vetha sadevaha sapratishtaha. So now Yajnavalkya has said like this, correct? So now Shakalya is saying, Yajnavalkya, he is now addressing Yajnavalkya, iti hovacha Shakalya. Shakalya said, so yedidam kuru panchalanam brahmanan atyavadi, he said. So you are the one, you think that you know Brahman, correct? And by thinking that you are a Brahmavit, also previously Maitreyi also had said that Yajnavalkya is a Brahmavit, he is really a Brahmavit, no Brahmana hereafter need not, in fact he need not be questioned, you should all actually do namaskara to him, something like that she said. So now Shakalya is saying, you are the Atyavadi, that you are Brahma Vidwan, so you think that you are the knower of Brahman, because of which you can insult or flout these Panditas, okay, these Brahmanas who have come from Kuru and Panchala Desha. So do you think that you can insult them like this, that they have put me in front of them, etc.? That is not true. That is the idea here. I am questioning by my own will or whatever, by my own idea only. It is not that they have put me in front in some manner, okay? So they are not playing me. I am the one who is really questioning you. Like this he answers. Then further he says, what he says, Disho Veda Sadevaha Sapratishtaha iti. So I know the dik or the quarters with their devatas, and the pratishta means their support or whatever, correct, the basis. And now he is asking, do you know these diks, the different directions with the devatas? Yet dishaha veta sadevaha sapratishtaha, he asks now. So do you know these diks with their devatas and the pratishta? So like this he asks, then only that the same Hiranyagarbha is now talked about in 5 different ways based on the 5 directions. That will start now. So Yajnavalkyeti hovacha Shakalyaha yedidam kuru panchalanam brahmanan atyavadihi atyuktavanasi. So atyavadi, you have become an atyavadi with reference to this brahmanas from Kuru and Panchala. Means atyukta means you are talking too much, correct? So you are basically you are flouting them. You are adhika prasangi, we say, correct? Adhika prasangi, like that we say even in Tamil sometimes. Means you are talking too much, basically. You are not respecting the brahmanas who are there from Kuru and Panchala. And in fact, Bhashyakara gives extra meaning. He says, Swayam bhitaha tvam angara avakshayanam kritavantaha iti kim brahma vidwan san evam adikshipasi brahmanan. So now you said that they are afraid of you, and being afraid of taking you on directly, they made me the tongues, correct? Like this you are saying. Now is this the knowledge of Brahman that you are displaying? Something like that he is saying. Being the Brahmavit, is it how you talk about all these Brahmanas? So that's what Shakalya is saying. And then what? So Yajnavalkya aha Brahma Vijnanam tavad idam mama kim tat. So Yajnavalkya says, this is my Brahma Jnanam. Now Disho Veda Digvishayam Vijnanam Jane. So I know the knowledge or the Upasana with reference to the Dig, the different directions. And again, tachana kevalam dishaha eva. So it is not just knowing about the directions, but along with the devas, sadevaha, devai saha, dig adishtatribihi. So the ones who are the adishtatri means one who are supporting the different directions. And kincha sapratishtaha pratishtabhischa. So I know the different quarters, the presiding deities are the devatas and their supports, pratishtha also. Itaraha yad yadi disho veta sadevaha sapratishtaha iti sapalam yadi vijnanam tvaya pratignatam. So now yet, if you know the same thing, the different dik, along with the devatas and their pratishtas, and along with the phala also. So if you know the upasana, do you know that? That is the question here. So that is being asked. And then Yajnavalkya will start answering this. This we'll see next week. This 5 different ways of looking at the same Hiranyagarbha with reference to the different directions. And then some more it is there. In fact, we are almost coming to the end of the 3rd chapter. One more, this one is slightly bigger. Interesting also. We'll see all this. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಹೋದಯ, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಶುಭ ದಿನ.